Hi, John. Did you arrive safely at your parents' place? I'm worried since you haven't contacted me since leaving. Please let me know when you get there.
John's asleep right now.
Excuse me? Who is this?
Oh, sorry. This is Emily. Do you remember me?
Emily? John's childhood friend?
Yes, that's right.
Why are you using John's phone?
Oh, didn't he tell you? I came back home with him.
I see.
John's safe at home, so don't worry.
Where is my husband now?
He's at my place. You know, we live close by since we're childhood friends. We were just having a drink with some friends and John had a bit too much. He's been sound asleep for a while now. I don't think he'll wake up anytime soon.
I'll contact his mother to pick him up then.
No need. This is usually how it goes.
Usually?
Yeah, since we were kids, John always falls asleep like this when he comes over. His mom knows, so she probably won't come even if you call.
But I don't want to inconvenience you.
It's fine. Oh, are you worried something might happen?
My husband is married, so it's not appropriate for him to stay over, even if you're childhood friends.
He's at my parents' house. Nothing will happen, I promise. Probably.
What do you mean by probably?
Sorry, I was just teasing you. Your reaction was cute. Don't worry. Nothing's going on between John and me. I'll let him sleep in my bed.
In your bed?
Is that a problem? I can't move John by myself, you know.
I think I'll contact his mother after all.
Oh, too bad. I wanted to talk to John if he woke up. I get it. You don't have much faith in John to stay loyal to you, do you?
I am confident in my relationship with John. I just don't think it's appropriate for him to stay at another woman's house overnight.
Oh, come on. We've known each other since we were kids. It's not like that between us.
I understand you have a long history, but as his wife, I'm not comfortable with this situation.
Fine, have it your way. I'll wake him up and send him home in a taxi.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, Sarah, you should really loosen up a bit. John always says you're too uptight.
I wasn't aware John discussed our relationship with you.
Oh, we talk about everything. That's what best friends do.
I see. Well, please, let me know when John is in the taxi.
Sure. I'll text you when he's on his way.
Thank you.
John's on his way home now. The taxi just left.
Thank you for letting me know.
No problem. You know, Sarah, I think we got off on the wrong foot earlier.
Did we?
Yeah, I feel like you might have misunderstood my relationship with John.
I don't think I misunderstood anything.
Look, I've known John for years. We're just really close friends. There's nothing for you to worry about.
I appreciate your reassurance, but I'd prefer if we didn't discuss this further.
All right, if that's what you want. But remember, I'm always here if you need someone to talk to about John.
That won't be necessary, but thank you.
Suit yourself. Good night, Sarah.
Good night, Emily.
Sarah, it's been a while. It's Emily.
Emily, how did you get my contact information? Did John give it to you?
John's been having trouble, so I thought I'd give you some advice.
Advice?
John confided in me about your relationship. Things aren't going well, are they?
Why should I hear this from you?
Wow, you're quite aggressive with me. John told me you were the quiet type. Are you angry? I guess it doesn't feel good to know he feels more comfortable confiding in me about his problems than you, his own wife. So you can get angry after all. John said he can never tell what you're thinking, that you're indecisive and don't express your feelings much. He wishes you were more open and honest with him.
Only a married couple can understand their relationship. So thank you very much, but I don't need your advice, Emily.
Don't shut me out. I'm kind of like a big sister figure. people often come to me for advice. I'm not trying to ruin your relationship. I just want to listen to both sides and help improve things.
I can handle this myself, thank you.
Really? Isn't that why you're in this situation? I mean, you and John are at odds because of your infertility, right?
Wow. What did you just say? Listen, Emily, just stay out of this. I know my relationship better than you do.
Oh, is that how you're going to play it?
Yes, we'll be fine without your advice, Emily. I really believe that.
He didn't seem to think so.
I see.
Look, I might be John's childhood friend, but I won't pick sides. I'll listen to your side of the story fairly, too.
No, thank you. If I have something to say to my husband, I'll tell him myself.
Maybe that's what John doesn't like about you. You shouldn't shut yourself off so much. It's important to rely on others when you're struggling.
I'm not struggling, Emily. Quit patronizing me.
You're still being stubborn even after all I've said. You're different from what I imagined, Sarah. Well, if you ever want to talk about John, I'm here. You can rely on me. As John's wife, you're always welcome.
Thank you. I'll be going now.
Fine. Have it your way. But don't say I didn't try to help when things get worse.
I appreciate your concern, but our marriage is our business.
You know, Sarah, I've been thinking about what you said.
What about it?
About how only a married couple can understand the relationship.
Yes, that's right.
But don't you think sometimes an outside perspective can be helpful?
Perhaps in some cases, but not in ours.
You're really adamant about this, aren't you?
I am. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do.
Always so busy with work. That's another thing John mentioned.
Emily, I'd appreciate it if you stopped telling me what John says about me.
I'm just trying to help you understand his perspective.
If John has something to say to me, he can say it himself.
But that's the problem, isn't it? He feels like he can't talk to you.
That's something we'll work out between ourselves.
You're really not making this easy, are you?
There's nothing to make easy. This conversation is over.
Fine, but don't say I didn't warn you when things fall apart.
Goodbye, Emily.
Hey, Sarah, are you free to talk?
Yes?
I have something important to tell you.
What is it?
I'm pregnant with John's child.
What? Pregnant with my husband's child?
Please, let him go. John told me he can't leave you because of you. Your marriage isn't going well anyway, and I understand him better as his childhood friend. So please, divorce him quickly. I'm sorry it turned into an affair, but John chose me as the person who understands him best.
Are you sure you're not mistaken?
What do you mean? I've been by John's side for years as his childhood friend. No one understands him better than I do.
You might know the old John, but I know who he is now. For example, did you know that my husband can't have children?
What?
Emily, are you really pregnant?
Yes, I'm already 4 months along.
Are you absolutely certain it's my husband's child? It seems you did have a relationship with him, but are you sure you didn't sleep with anyone else around that time?
How dare you ask such a horrible thing? I would never cheat on John.
That's strange. When we got married, my husband told me about you.
He told you I was his childhood friend, right?
Well, yes, but he said he had a childhood friend who would sleep with any man. My husband said he wasn't involved, but apparently you had relations with most of the guys in your friend group since high school. That's why he asked me not to get too close to you. He said you were completely different from me and that I'd be grossed out if we got close and realized what you're really like.
Did John really say that?
It's terrible, isn't it? Even though you had taken care of him. But that's the kind of person my husband is.
That's a lie. John told me you were infertile. You're just trying to make me hate you because you're jealous that I'm pregnant. I don't believe a word you're saying.
Well, if I divorce my husband, will you believe me then?
What? You'll divorce John?
Yes. That was my plan from the beginning.
Oh, I see. You should have said so from the start. You didn't have to tell me all that unnecessary stuff.
Well, since you contacted me like this, I wanted to make sure you take responsibility. I'll be claiming compensation for the affair, of course.
So you just wanted money. Were you perhaps delaying the divorce until you can get compensation for John's affair? You must be really in a really desperate financial situation if these are the lengths you're stopping to.
I will be receiving compensation.
Fine, I'll pay. It's true that I had an affair, and if I can be with John, that's a small price to pay.
Thank you. I have nothing more to say, so goodbye.
Hey, Sarah. I'm sorry about all this. I didn't mean to steal him away, but, attractive women tend to get what they want in this world. I'm sure there's someone better out there for a plain type like you. You're still in your 30s, after all. Don't be too pessimistic, okay? Good luck with your life from now on.
Emily, I don't need your pity or your backhanded compliments.
I'm just trying to be nice. You don't have to be so cold.
Being nice would have been respecting my marriage. Goodbye.
Sarah, can you get in touch with John?
I suppose I could if I wanted to.
Can you tell him to contact me? He hasn't read my messages since yesterday, and he's not answering my calls.
Is that something I should do?
You're the only one I can ask. When I told him about the pregnancy, I thought he'd be happy, but he said it wasn't his child.
I told you, didn't I? My husband can't have children.
So the story about you being infertile really was John's lie?
Yes, I've been tested multiple times and told there's no problem. My husband was just using that as an excuse to others. He really hated the idea of being seen as sterile himself.
And you were okay with that?
Of course. I didn't like being blamed, but even if he had an affair, it's still a marital issue. You believed everything my husband said too, didn't you?
But I'm John's childhood friend.
As I said before, that's the kind of person my husband is. He only cares about himself, and he always has to come on top of every situation. He'll even hurt his wife for that. Yet when he's in trouble, he comes crying to me. It's really annoying. Even now, he's sending me messages making excuses saying his relationship with you was just for fun.
What? Just for fun? How could a passionate relationship with his closest childhood friend be just for fun?
Emily, you're being played. Face reality. My husband knew you were still sleeping around with different men. He just wanted to take advantage of that because things weren't going well between us. You were just convenient for him to satisfy his desires. He apparently didn't think you were seriously in love with him.
What should I do?
That's not for me to say. The child in your womb is another man's, so shouldn't you talk to him if you know who it might be?
I don't know. I made sure to use protection with other men.
There's no 100% safe day when it comes to pregnancy.
I thought it was John's child. I'd given up on my feelings for him when we got married, but then I heard your marriage wasn't going well. He even said we could have had a happy marriage if he'd married me instead.
He really is the most vile lowlife, isn't he?
But John is all I have now. Please, let me talk to John. I don't want it to end like this. I'll raise his child as John's. Tell him we can start over.
What? How can you start over when there was never anything to begin with?
I've already told everyone at work that I'm pregnant. I'm even preparing to quit my job. I can't pretend none of this happened now.
Jesus, talk about getting ahead of yourself. That's quite an overreaction. It's impressive that you could take such actions without even telling my husband about the pregnancy. But it's impossible. My husband won't choose you.
Are you saying you're better than me? You're just a plain Jane and there's nothing special about you. John even said you were too much of an introvert. You and John were never a good match to begin with. That's why you're getting divorced.
My reason for divorce is that I can't take it anymore.
Whatever. Who else does John have besides me?
If you've been listening to our conversation, you should understand by now. He's the type of person who blames his wife for his own infertility. Yet he relies on my income to live. And that's why he's clinging to me instead of choosing you.
Well, I have some savings too. I'm even thinking John could be a stay-at-home dad after I give birth. That's how serious I am.
I earn over $200,000 a year. Are you saying you make that much too?
$200,000 a year? You? That's a lie, right?
It's not a lie. I'm a doctor, you know. Even with a doctor earning $200,000, my husband says it's not enough. He gambles and has a lot of expenses. Marrying him was really a mistake.
John even gambles.
Yes, he's at the level of addiction. I've asked him to go see a shrink, but he won't listen. I don't care anymore since we're separating. He hid his infertility, made fun of me behind my back, and even gambles. He might even have debts. I haven't given him any money for the past few months.
Wait a minute. I really don't understand. What should I do now? What is all this? I didn't know he was like that. I can finally see the reality. I've had enough. It was my fault, so please help me. Tell me what to do. I don't want to think about anything anymore.
First, pay the compensation.
You're a doctor, but you still want compensation? That's money I earned through hard work. I'm about to have a child too.
Does that have anything to do with me? You're the one who had an affair, right? Besides, you said you'd pay, remember? You said it was a small price to pay for such a trashy man. You're such a good person. Emily, you're willing to pay money for a man you were going to throw away.
I don't know what to say. This is all so overwhelming.
Well, you should have thought about that before getting involved with a married man.
I know, I made a mistake. But what am I supposed to do now? I'm pregnant and alone.
That's not my problem, Emily. You made your choices.
Can't you help me at all? You're a doctor, right?
My profession has nothing to do with this situation. I'm not responsible for your choices or their consequences.
But I have nowhere else to turn. John won't answer my calls, and now I found out he's been lying to both of us.
Welcome to the reality of who John really is.
I can't believe I fell for his lies. How could I have been so stupid?
That's something you'll have to figure out on your own.
Sarah, I know I have no right to ask, but can you forgive me?
Forgiveness isn't the issue here, Emily. What's done is done. We all have to live with the consequences of our actions.
I understand. I feel so lost.
That's understandable, but it's not my responsibility to guide you.
What about John? What will happen to him?
That's between John and me, and soon it won't be my concern either.
You're really going through with the divorce?
Of course. Why would I stay with a man who's betrayed me in so many ways?
I guess you're right. I just never thought it would end like this.
Life rarely turns out the way we expect, Emily.
What should I do about the baby?
And that's a decision only you can make. But I suggest you start by finding out who the real father is.
How am I supposed to do that? I don't even know where to start.
There are paternity tests available. As a doctor, I can tell you they're quite reliable.
But what if I can't find the father?
Then you'll have to decide if you're prepared to raise a child on your own.
I never wanted to be a single mother.
Few people do, but sometimes that's the hand we're dealt.
I'm scared, Sarah.
That's normal, but fear doesn't solve anything. You need to start making plans.
Plans for what?
For your future, for the baby's future. You can't rely on John anymore.
I don't know how to do this alone.
Nobody does at first, but you'll learn.
I'm sorry, Sarah, for everything.
I appreciate that, Emily, but sorry doesn't change what happened.
I know. I wish I could take it all back.
We can't change the past. We can only move forward.
How can you be so calm about all this?
Because getting emotional won't solve anything. We need to think practically now.
You're right. I need to pull myself together.
Yes, you do. For your sake and for your child's.
Sarah, can I ask you one more thing?
What is it?
Do you think I'll be okay?
That depends entirely on you, Emily, on the choices you make from here on out.
I understand. Thank you for being honest with me.
It's the least I can do. Now, about that compensation.
Right, I'll figure out how to pay it.
Good. That's a start.
Sarah, I know this might be asking too much, but can we stay in touch?
I don't think that's a good idea, Emily. We need to go our separate ways.
I understand. I just thought, never mind.
It's better this way. Clean break for everyone.
You're probably right. I'm sorry for even asking.
It's fine. Just focus on yourself and your baby now.
I will. Thank you, Sarah, for everything.
And goodbye, Emily. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye, Sarah. I hope you find happiness. Sarah, I know you said we shouldn't stay in touch, but I need your help.
What is it now, Emily?
I tried to contact John again. He threatened me.
Threatened you? How?
He said if I don't leave him alone, he'll make sure I regret it.
That doesn't sound like John.
I know. I was shocked too. I think he's desperate.
Have you considered going to the police?
I'm scared. What if they don't believe me?
If you have evidence of the threat, they'll have to take it seriously.
I have some text messages. Do you think that's enough?
It's a start. You should document everything.
Okay, I'll do that, Sarah. I'm sorry to keep bothering you.
It's fine. Just be careful, Emily.
I will. Thank you for not ignoring me.
Despite everything, I don't want to see you harmed.
It means a lot to me. I'll keep you updated if that's okay.
All right, but remember, I'm not involved in this.
I understand. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, I did what you said. I went to the police.
How did it go?
They took my statement and the evidence. They're going to investigate.
That's good. You did the right thing.
I'm still scared, though. What if John retaliates?
The police should provide you with the resources for protection.
They gave me some numbers to call. I just feel so alone in all this.
Emily, you need to start building a support system that doesn't involve me or John.
I know, you're right. It's just hard.
Nobody said it would be easy, but it's necessary.
I'm trying to reconnect with some old friends. It's awkward.
It's a start. Keep at it.
Sarah, I know I keep saying this, but thank you. You've been kinder than I deserve.
I'm just doing what any decent person would do.
Still, I appreciate it. I'll try not to bother you anymore.
Take care, Emily.
Sarah, I have news.
What is it?
I found out who the father is. It's not John.
I see. How do you feel about that?
Relieved, actually. And a little ashamed.
Why ashamed?
Because I was so sure it was John's. I caused all this trouble for nothing.
Not for nothing, this whole situation revealed a lot of truths.
You're right. I've learned so much about myself and others.
That's good, Emily. Growth often comes from difficult situations.
The real father, he wants to be involved. He's actually excited about the baby.
That's wonderful news. I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Sarah. I never expected things to turn out this way.
Life is full of surprises, some good, some bad.
I'm trying to focus on the good now. It's not easy, but I'm trying.
That's all any of us can do.
Sarah, I know we can't be friends, but I want you to know how much I appreciate your support through all this.
You're welcome, Emily. I hope things work out for you and your baby.
Thank you. I hope you find happiness too, Sarah. You deserve it.
Thank you, Emily. Take care.
You too, Sarah. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Emily.
Sarah, I hope this message finds you well. I know we agreed not to stay in touch, but I wanted to let you know that I had my baby. It's a girl. She's healthy and beautiful. I'm doing much better now, both mentally and emotionally. The father has been incredibly supportive. I've also been seeing a therapist to work through my issues. I just wanted to thank you one last time for your kindness during that difficult time. I hope you're doing well and that you found peace and happiness. Take care, Sarah.
Congratulations on your baby girl, Emily. I'm glad to hear you're doing well and getting the support you need. Thank you for the update. I wish you and your family all the best. Take care. After that, I revealed everything about my husband and Emily to my in-laws, and my divorce from my husband was finalized. I was surprised to receive all those provocative messages from Emily, my husband's childhood friend, just as I had finally decided to leave him. But I'm glad, because it gave me more reason to teach him a lesson. Currently, my ex-husband has been disowned by his parents and can't return to his hometown due to rumors about their relationship. It turns out he did have debts and even borrowed from loan sharks. After the divorce, his debts increased further due to the compensation, and now he's working on a fishing boat that operates out of a rural port. Emily has moved to a remote area where no one knows her and is quietly raising her child. Between Emily apologizing and paying me compensation, I'm satisfied that she made up for what she did and bared no ill will. For a while, I plan to focus on my work and slowly heal my wounded heart.